Print readership is in decline, the newspaper itself is shrinking, and newspaper companies are diversifying. Do local ad buyers still care about the newspaper? We'll find out in about 30 seconds.
Welcome to Corey's Local Marketing Minute, an enlightening and entertaining look at what's happening in the world of local marketing. Corey's Local Marketing Minute is brought to you by Advertisers, technology and marketing that make the complex simple. Focused on generating results and growth for businesses of all sizes, Advertisers offers best-in-class technology and software, award-winning customer service, expert education, and exceptional operational support to ensure campaign performance for customers. Learn more at adcellerant.com or book a demo by emailing info@adcellerant.com. And now, the shaman of local marketing, Corey Elliott.
Welcome back, everyone. And if it's your first time, shame on you. You should subscribe and comment and hit that like button and all the other social media stuff I'm supposed to say. But this episode, let's talk about newspapers. I do this myself. Anyway, newspapers, like all traditional media companies, they've been going through rocky times for a while. So we wanted to understand, does anybody care about the newspaper anymore? And by anybody, of course, in this context, we mean local advertisers. So we really wanted the thoughts from those local businesses who are still currently advertising in a local printed version of a newspaper. What do they think? Let me show you. It's cruel how fleeting good art is. So, in our local advertiser survey, we screened out the people who said they bought newspaper ads. And we wanted to ask them effectiveness questions about those newspaper ads. But maybe not the typical questions you're thinking of. Well, one might be typical, but let me show you. The first thing we asked about was driving action. Sales, traffic response, leads. How effective was the newspaper ad? Or ads. You're advertising in a newspaper. You get it. So this is the percentage that said very or extremely, and the percentage that said not at all or slightly. 19% said very or extremely. 37% said not at all or slightly. Well, there we go. We're done. I'm kidding. Obviously, there are people advertising in a newspaper, but maybe it's not for this? That's why we ask more questions. Like, building awareness of the company I work for. Branding. 36% said very or extremely. 22% said not at all or slightly. Aha! This is becoming interesting. What about this one? Supporting my community. Now remember, it's not about the newspaper being perceived as that. It's about them being in the newspaper. Let me read you the question. Please rate how effective, in your opinion, the newspaper advertising bought by your company performed in the perception of supporting my community. 43% said effective. Only 18% said not effective. And finally, to bring this whole thing together, was it effective in having the company I work for being viewed as part of the community? A little different than supporting the community. 45% said effective, 18% not effective. So, look what's happening. Newspapers are being perceived by newspaper advertisers as less about driving action and more about branding and being seen as part of the community. Ergo, a lot of local advertisers see the newspaper as integral to the local community. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? In fact, we went one step further with this idea. And we asked, if your local newspaper stopped publishing, how would it affect your community? Let me get that up there. Okay, if your local newspaper stopped publishing, how would it affect your community? This has nothing to do with your ads. This is asking local newspaper advertisers, how would the paper going away affect your community? Would it be a large positive impact, small positive, no impact, small negative, or large negative? I want to concentrate on these. What percent of newspaper advertisers said the newspapers going away would have a negative impact on the community? 83% said negative. And remember, these guys seem to be in the newspaper to be associated with the community and have a positive reflection. So some of you naysayers out there would say, well, of course it's going to be high because they're newspaper advertisers. So we asked non-newspaper advertisers this same question. What percentage of them said it would be a negative impact? 55%, over half, because that's how math works, of non-newspaper advertisers say the newspaper going away would be a negative impact on my community. All right, as marketers, what can we take away from this? Are the days of saying that the printed newspaper is all about driving the bottom of that funnel over? I don't know if they're over. It can still do that, provided the audience is right, but all of this suggests there's another functionality to newspaper that may be untapped in some markets. Maybe your market's got it, I don't know. So to answer the question at the top of this thing, local businesses care about the newspaper. Both newspaper advertisers and non-newspaper advertisers. Ooh, should I draw another newspaper? No?
You've been watching Corey's Local Marketing Minute, sponsored by our friends at Advertisers. Learn more at advertisers.com. Remember, if you'd like to hear more of Corey's insights, check out the Local Marketing Trends podcast. Just Google Burrell Podcast or look for the podcast link on BurrellAssociates.com.